Oh, boom, we're live. I'm back. I've been told to use my camera in my phone in landscape mode in order to have a better view of the proceedings. A couple of folks have popped in. Hello, good morning. Anybody there? Hello, where'd everybody go? There's a couple people here and then they were gone. Stephen Woodall, good morning. Hey, what happened? Where'd everybody go? Everybody's gone. There's like 4 people and they're like, nah, forget it. Can you hear me? Is that the problem? No event whatsoever, Steven. I just like to go live sometimes in the mornings to say what's up to everybody and check in. Have a little chat. Really nothing of consequence. I basically throw this live camera on the famous Baghdad Theater here in Portland, Oregon, and I ramble to you guys. Hopefully somebody comes in and asks me some questions or has some things to add, and we kind of go from there. That's about it. I once again did not give any kind of advance notice that this was going to happen because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to. It's been a very rough couple, about a week or so here in the Pacific Northwest. Not sure if anybody listening has heard about this, but the Columbia River Gorge, which is a beloved natural area out here in the Pacific Northwest outside of Portland, Oregon, is on fire. There's a huge wildfire out there, and it looks like it's just cloudy out here in my camera, but in fact, I believe most of this is all still smoky haze. There's been a tremendous amount of smoke, and to the point where it's actually been snowing ash, which is pretty intense. Not a pro disc golf. Smoke is a bit. Where are you located in Portland? Yeah, it seems a little better today. I agree with that. It actually kind of just looks overcast. And I think there's actually some clouds in there, down there in Salem. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's been rough. It's been very rough. It's been a very scary and troubling few days for sure, with the amount of smoke, and the news of the wildfires traveling like crazy, and it's been rough. Couple that with all the issues going on down south, and now coming into the coastline and Florida and stuff. It's been a really rough couple of weeks, and my heart goes out to everybody who's really being affected by it. Luckily, I'm in Portland. We're not so close to it that we need to actually worry about the flames themselves, although they are dangerously close to many of my most beloved disc golf courses. I'm really not sure how it stands right now in terms of the disc golf courses that I love out in the gorge there. There's a real good chance that some of them are damaged to some degree. Some of them might be completely toast. I really don't know. Cascade Locks is a disc golf course that I have yet to play, but it's right out in the area where it got closed down. Rooster Rock State Park, one of my principal test grounds for reviewing discs, and one of my favorite places to just run out and get a 9-hole round in, is dangerously close to the fire. As far as I know, it's still there and everything's good. The fire has not made its way into Rooster Rock State Park and established itself, but I don't know. I don't know what really took place overnight. I've been kind of keeping up with the news, but at the same time, I'm also not super into just the doom and gloom of it and the constant watching, and the newscast itself is just kind of annoying. I'm not a big news guy, but I'm trying to at least stay in touch with what's happening out there to some degree. Dabney State Park, another one of my absolute favorites. The first place I ever played disc golf is closed. as it's just far too close to the action for comfort. The amount of smoke out there is tremendous. Hopefully Dabney and Rooster Rock will remain safe and unburned. I don't know about the course out at Bonneville Dam. North Bonneville in Skamania, Washington is right in the heart of the action as well. So for all I know, that course has been severely damaged and burned at this point. And it's just been a really scary and damaging couple of days here. I actually had my dad visiting from out of town. We went out to the gorge. Let's see if I can figure out what day it was. I think we went out to the gorge Friday of last week. And was it Friday? Yeah, I think we went out Friday, and the fire had just started. It was already really smoky. It smelled like a campfire in the gorge. There was a bunch of traffic getting down to Multnomah Falls and the lodge there. We briefly examined the falls, and then we kind of turned around because it was so crazy over there. Went back through to Shepherd's Dell and a couple other spots, finding our way to the Vista House. If you look at my Instagram feed, I posted a picture from the Vista House, and you can see how much smoke was there already on Friday, and that was just when the fire was getting started. It's now at about 30,000 acres, from what I understand. But I believe the crews have been doing a good job. Cooler temperatures and a little bit lighter winds have aided them, and I believe that they're starting to at least turn the corner and get it a little bit under control. So it's been a very scary, harrowing few days. Thunderstorm rolled through last night at 11 p.m. Hopefully it dumped some water out there, because it doesn't look like anything really fell here in Oregon and in Portland rather. Hopefully some rain fell out in the gorge and helped them out at least to some degree. I can't see that being a detriment. I'm not really sure. So yeah, while not exactly disc golf centered, and it's definitely affecting our disc golf community. A lot of our courses are inaccessible at the moment and potentially in a lot of danger to be destroyed. So it's been a very scary week. Excuse me, I'm trying to enjoy a little bit of breakfast here. I should probably wait until I'm after I'm done being live for that. I do got my coffee. I'm here. A couple people in here. Anybody got any questions, any comments? Let me know. Tomorrow's Fresh Plastic Friday. Another damaging aspect of this whole situation is that there is no, hey, let's go outside and exercise and do stuff. Like, there's a cloud of smoke covering Portland, Oregon and surrounding areas all the way out to the coast. I mean, we drove out to the coast on, let's see, what day was that? On Labor Day, I think, on Monday. We went out to the coast, and man, it was smoky all the way out there, all the way through the Tillamook State Forest, up and over the hills by the Wilson River, and all the way out to Cape Lookout State Park. There was smoke, and really even on the beach, you could see some smoky haze kind of hanging over the water. It's really scary to see how far it reached, you know. Stephen Woodall asks, do you have indoor courses there? Not that I know of. One focus I have going into this winter is attempting to try to start an indoor putting league somewhere here in Portland. As far as I know, there is not one as of yet. There's got to be some place that I can line up that we can do an indoor, basic indoor putting league with just a couple of baskets and let it go and let some putts fly in the winter, because it gets really rainy. For the most part here in Oregon, we're pretty blessed in that we, in Portland at least, in the valley, we can play disc golf most of the year. It's never like so cold that you just can't play. Occasionally it'll snow and it'll make it extremely difficult to get to and from the course because of our inability to deal with the infrastructure and the snow itself. We just don't have the plows and the salt trucks and stuff that other more equipped northern states might have. But you know, the temperatures are mild, and as long as you can deal with the water and the rain, you know, occasional rains and stuff, you can play all year round. So it's not as imperative to have an indoor putting league. That being said, it still would be very cool to have one for those days that it's super rainy, or if you just don't want to be out there, we could still have some disc golf fun indoors. It'd be a lot of fun, and it's something I'd like to get going on. Okay, InstaWeb usually has the most up-to-date mapping. It's a .gov site. Our friend works at OFD, flies around mapping fires. He's working on Eagle Creek. Yeah, I'm going to have to look up and see exactly what's going on. And then Not a Pro Disc Golf says our local shop, Tiger Disc, has a putting league. Looking forward to playing it this year. Yeah, it looks really fun. It looks really fun. David Buckley, hey, it's Dave, the cryptozoologist. Bigfoot in parentheses. I tore down a hot tub and I traded the pumps for five MVP Axiom discs, Defy, Switch, Nitro, Insanity, and a Wrath. I really, really like them. Awesome. That's cool. If you're getting into the gyro plastic, MVP and Axiom, a couple other molds I highly recommend you check out. Three of my favorites I'll give you. The Axiom Envy, tremendous deal. Such a great driving putter. It's one of those ones that's kind of on the fringe of my bag that may actually go in depending on the day. And but it has been a staple in my bag for the last few years or so. I've just kind of been using the Caltrup in similar situations of late. But also the Axis, tremendous mid-range, and Eclipse Axis is a phenomenal disc. Looks beautiful, flies great. Definitely recommend that. And the Inertia, I'm a huge fan of the Inertia as well. Really good flying driver. Stephen Woodall, I'm a newbie, been playing for about 2 months or so, looking for as much training as possible. I've watched a billion YouTube videos, but nothing helps more than having one-to-one live training. Yeah, I hear that. I actually, last week at some point, I took a couple of friends out for their first round ever. Excuse me. Another unfortunate side effect of the smoke is that my lungs and my whole breathing passages are not stoked right now, so pardon me if I need to clear out my vocal passages here. Took out some friends for their first disc golf round ever. It was very interesting. It was really, really cool to actually, not that I haven't done that before, but it's been a little while, and it was cool to kind of put it into practice and see how everything goes. This is kind of one for my life. Hold on a second here.
Morning. This is the same place next one? No, right? Right? 3707.
Oh, no, that's not. This is 31. This is 3701.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Friday and Tommy Love is down the street.
Really?
Yeah, let me see. It's like Friday.
Yeah. Blue card?
32, yeah, you're down there. Because this is 39, so that way,
yeah,
you're going down.
No worries.
That was funny. That's the kind of live action you guys can expect here on the Disc Golf Nerd live stream. A gentleman attempting to deliver produce to the wrong restaurant. But yeah, so it was cool to actually see if I'm capable of that. If the beginner tips and kind of advice that I try to give out on my channel actually applies to live human beings when they actually go out and try to throw for their first round. I'm happy to report it worked out quite well. The soft magnet, a broken in soft magnet, is still a tremendous first round disc. My friend Jenna was throwing it on a very nice straight line, straight out the basket, not getting a ton of distance, but throwing it straight, right where she's aiming, and that's all she really needed. I think she got a par or so. I think she got a par on one of the holes, or probably should have. Putting is always really tricky for somebody who's never played at all. But she had a good drive, and yeah, just throwing some good shots. Her last drive of the day, she actually started to get it to move right a little bit and finish back to the left, and got a little bit more distance. And then her husband Kevin had him starting with a putter as well, with actually a magnet, a prime or not a magnet, a Warden, a Prime Warden, one of my Disc Golf Nerd Stamp customs that he purchased for me, and yeah, worked good. He was throwing it on a forehand, and towards the end of the round, you could see he was starting to put more energy on the forehand. And right before we left, I had him try a mid-range. That flew real nice as well, and he's almost ready to start stepping it up. So it's cool to see that my kind of advice to start with straight flying neutral putters actually does still translate and apply to brand new players who've never played before. But I hear what you're saying. That kind of one-on-one personal training stuff definitely goes a long way. The problem with YouTube, and I put myself in this issue, is that there's a lot of personal opinion and a lot of bias, and there's a lot of crap out there. You don't know You don't know. Like, I could be full of it. You don't know if my advice is right or not. I'm not sure sometimes. I try to do my very best to give you guys the best information I can, but I'm sure I've been wrong many times in the stuff that I've said and in various videos and stuff like that. And, you're going to get a lot of that in a personal one-on-one training situation as well. But there's so much information on YouTube, it can be difficult to try to figure out what's right and what's not. I think about it in a musical perspective, as far as like people teaching guitar or bass or drums or any of that kind of stuff. There's a lot of bad advice out there. People teach you how to play the song incorrectly and whatever because they don't know any better, and that's kind of the issue with the internet. It's one of the most amazing things about the internet that anybody can get out there and put some content out there and spread it with the masses, but at the same time, that means that people who don't know what they're talking about can try to teach people stuff too, so it definitely it's an issue, and it can be difficult to kind of wade through all that and figure out who's got the right information for what you're trying to learn. And it can be difficult for sure. Nice thing about disc golf is we're such a small community, and music is the same way now, where you can cut out the kind of average guy and go to somebody who is more of a professional level. There's lots of tips and advice out there from musicians that are already at a high professional level of ability and skill, and you can learn from them. Not that I'm saying you guys should just ignore me forever, because I'd be sad if you did that, but at the same time, I don't blame you if a pro puts out a video there on YouTube about something. I would probably think that you're better off listening to them than listening to me, for the most part. Unless, I don't know. That's how I feel about it, at least. I don't think that's too crazy to say. There's a ridiculous amount of people walking around today, which makes me think that there must be reports that the air quality is improved. Because otherwise, for the last few days, people have been walking around with dust masks and bandanas on their faces and stuff, and I'm not seeing much of that this morning, so hopefully that's a good sign. All right, let's see. I'm missing some comments here. Stephen Woodall says, would love some in-depth insight on push putting. That is a huge mystery to me. I understand the concept, but the execution is terrible. I could not agree more, and that is something that's eluded me as well. Watching somebody like Nico Locastro or Ricky, where they have that just kind of underhand style where the disc kind of just pops out and it gets all that momentum and forward push. I don't really know how that works exactly. I'm somewhere in the middle where I'm not a true spin putter, but I definitely have some wrist and some propulsion on the disc, and I think there's always some aspect of that. I'm just not sure how it works. Nico's form is the one that really perplexes me the most, because he has that pure underhand pitch, and then his hand comes up and the disc just pops out with spin on an angle. It doesn't wobble a lot, and it goes out straight at the basket. You can see Ricky, he has that kind of underhand pitch, but you can see when his wrist kind of opens up and the disc gets propelled out, and how the momentum happens there. And there's a lot of expert timing in the weight shift going on. That's the big aspect of it, is that you need to make sure that you're still moving your weight back, moving your weight forward, and releasing the disc at the right time, so you'd be able to get that. But yeah, I hear you. Maybe our friend Danny Lindahl could post something about that. I'm not sure what kind of a putting style he uses. Not a Pro Disc Golf says, advice all depends on the person. The normal mechanics don't always work for everyone. Exactly. That's also true as well. Somebody could say this is the perfect way to do it, and maybe it is the perfect way to do it for them and their body and their flexibility and all of that, all those aspects to it. Meanwhile, other people could go and try to use that same exact form, and it might not work for them. I have kind of a weird shoulder from a shoulder injury when I was a kid. Also a big guy. I carry some weight on the front of my body. So trying to mimic the form of, say, somebody like Peter McBride or Eagle McMahon or something like that, maybe not the best idea for me, based on the vastly different body shape and body type that we have. I kind of need to tailor it a little bit, and a lot of the same concepts still apply, of course, but you have to kind of switch it out a little bit based on your body and the way the way your body works, and maybe some of its limitations. Just like batting in baseball. Yeah, I agree. Something else I've come across that I think I've come across is that the tips are geared towards a specific situation. For example, driving tips are usually geared towards max drive and not just a stand and throw. love a video that goes into depth on when to use those mechanics, etc. Interesting, yeah. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, most of the time a driving video is mostly centered around how to improve your distance, how to throw maximum distance, when really what we should be teaching people is how to throw on the line. Shout out to Marty McGee, still crushing it, doing great video coverage out there on the Prodigy Disc Golf channel. Go check out his recent video. He just posted it the other day, and I can't remember exactly the name of the tournament, but it was a tournament up in Canada, and there's a player named Martin Hendel playing up there, and Martin doesn't look like he's a big crusher. He's got somewhat unorthodox form, but he's just releasing the disc right where he wants to, and it's just flying straight to the bucket. It's a beautiful thing to watch, and it shows you that accuracy and releasing on the angles that you want is everything. You know, if it was all about distance, Alex Geisinger and Wiggins and Eagle and Simon would win every event, but they don't, you know. Shout out also to James Conrad. Talk about a blend of power, distance, and also incredible touch and finesse accuracy throwing putters and mid-ranges. James Conrad has been tremendous to watch this season. I've been really liked watching him play. Same thing with MJ. MJ is just so phenomenally accurate, but he doesn't have quite the raw distance that somebody like James Conrad has, which I really like. Jonathan Hernandez, hello, good morning. Tanner Sherlock, what's up to you as well? 2017 Toronto Island Maple Leaf, correct. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Go check that out. Martin Hendel putting on a clinic for these dudes. Spoiler alert, he wins by like 10 strokes because he's just throwing so accurately. It's just, oh man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. I definitely recommend you guys check that stuff out. Stephen Woodall says, good place to watch the tournaments. All on YouTube. Here's the channels you want to subscribe to. You want Spin TV for all the Innova-based stuff, like the World Tour, USDGC will be on there, stuff like that. Then you want Central Coast Disc Golf for mostly western states, California, Oregon, up into like Montana and Washington. And then they also travel and cover some of the bigger events as well. Jomez Productions is probably the top of the food chain at this point, covering all the biggest events and traveling around the country, around the world to do so. You want to check out Jomez Productions for sure. And then also, who am I missing, guys? Prodigy Disc channel is filmed by a gentleman named Marty McGee, who used to run a channel called Marty McFly. McFly So High was the name of the channel. Tremendous stuff. I still have a ton of respect for Marty and his coverage. And also Smashbox. Smashbox TV, the Tuesday night podcast, is a great place to come hang out and learn more about disc golf, have fun, listen to great interviews with pro players and other people in the disc golf community. You might see a short review from me on Smashbox from time to time. I need to submit a new one of those for them. And also they do live coverage of the Disc Golf Pro Tour events and other select events throughout the year where cell phone coverage, cell service coverage is available. So definitely go check all that stuff out. Dynamic Discs is a channel that you should definitely subscribe to as well. Not a pro disc golf, threw that out there. More casual rounds, tips, just fun video blogs and adventures while they're traveling to showcase their top players and all that kind of great stuff. Totally recommend Dynamic Discs. There's a ton of great people doing a lot of great work out there on YouTube, and I think the sky's the limit for us, man. YouTube is all we need, and people really like to focus on TV and all this stuff, when I believe YouTube is going up and TV is kind of on the way out. There are YouTube channels now that have hundreds of millions of or hundreds of thousands of subscribers, millions of subscribers on YouTube channels. The sky's the limit. YouTube can get as big as you want it to get, and we can reach as many eyes as are available on the planet here. And I feel like we just need to keep doing what we're doing. I don't care if disc golf makes it on ESPN. I would rather see YouTube overtake ESPN and just be the place that everybody goes to watch their stuff. And I feel like that's the way we're going. The streaming networks and stuff are kind of, I think, outworking the cable companies. The cable companies are just ripping everybody off all the time, and I don't know. I prefer to watch internet stuff in general. My dad was visiting. He's obviously much older than me. He's an old school dude, and he just watches TV. You know, he flips around the channels and stuff, and he's like, "Do you have this channel? You have that channel?" I was like, "I don't know. You know, I have what we have, and I either DVR a specific program or I watch the internet. Like, there's no way I just turn on my TV and click around and look for what's on. That's just not something I do anymore. The commercials, the amount of stuff that is just crap that I don't want to watch in the first place. I go straight to YouTube and I watch exactly what I want to watch, and that's it. You know, or I go to Netflix, I put on a specific show, a specific movie, I watch that, and that's it. So I DVR a few different programs that are on regular TV, but I think it's very soon I'll probably no longer have cable TV, and I'll be 100% just watching Amazon Prime streaming, Netflix, and YouTube. I mean, there's so much content out there to watch. I really don't see the need for cable these days. Well, it just could be my 2 cents. Jonathan Han adds that Matt Dollar also does video coverage. Correct, he does. There's a couple of other channels I'm sure I forgot. Disc Golf Monthly was one of my favorites for years ago. My heart goes out to Carl Cubbage and his family. He's still attempting to recover, as far as I know. I could be totally speaking out of turn here. I believe Cubby's still kicking and fighting after having a bunch of health issues earlier this year. But yeah, they, I believe, still film tournaments and do coverage in the Pennsylvania area, New Jersey area, and they do some great work. I really like that channel when I was first getting into disc golf as well. Disc Golf Monthly, Disc Golf Examiner, correct, and also in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, they do their own reviews and also tournament coverage. Okay, who's got a question for me? I feel like I'm just rambling. I'm going to take a bite of a brownie, and I'm going to wait for you guys to give me something to work with here. Really hope you guys can't hear me chewing. I'm sorry if you can. Stephen Woodall. We just got a new course here in Sherman, Texas, Pecan Grove West, supposedly in the top 10 courses in Texas. Wow. Any chance we could have a clinic / group come down, maybe even a tournament? I'm sure if you guys have that kind of a level of event, of course, rather, that you're going to have some tournaments and events down there. That's not anything I could help you out with, of course, but I'm sure that would happen. I would get in touch with your local club. You know, kind of an unknown thing about disc golf is that disc golf courses don't don't appear. It's not like the city government that decides, hey, I'm going to go put in a disc golf course. There are clubs, there are local individuals in your area that are doing the work on the ground to get that course approved and put in there. If it's not a private course, it's in a public place. There are people advocating and going and talking to city groups and getting the funding and doing the fundraising and doing the work themselves, pouring the tee pads, pouring the basket sleeves, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't just happen overnight, and it's not something that the government's just going, hey, let's go do this. It's about the local clubs that are doing that. So I would get in touch with whoever the club is that's involved in making that course happen, and see what their plans are for the future. I would imagine, though, that there's going to be some tournaments and other events. I see pros going all over the world at different courses, like in the Champs versus Chumps. Yeah, there's the Disc Golf Pro Tour, Disc Golf World Tours, more of a series of a few different events. But the Disc Golf Pro Tour and the National Tour come through the country, and generally all the best players in the world will go along those two tours and hit a lot of the different stops. And Texas States is one that I know for a fact that a lot of the top players in the world will get out to in your, at least in your state. I'm not sure how far away that is. I know Texas is a huge state. But there's definitely events to be had, and if you have the ability to go spectate a professional event, I highly recommend you do so. You're going to learn a lot about the game at the highest level, and I really dig that. Well, I'm now starting to run a little bit low on time to chat with you wonderful folks. Thank you, Stephen. Have a good one. Hit me up on Facebook or send me an email, discraftendinova@gmail.com. If you have any questions, I'm always happy to try to help out new players. Let me know. I'm there for you if you need anything. I'm starting to ping our local clubs, courses, and DD for a luck of the draw here. Yeah, dude, if that happens, I'll come down there to be a part of it. The luck of the draw skins videos that they put out from the first one they did out there in Emporia, I think, at Peter Pan, I was just smiling ear to ear watching that thing. It was just really funny. It was endearing to see like the little kids light up when they got a chance to play with Ricky or Paige. It's just really, really cool. Just awesome stuff, man. I just really liked watching that, and I would love to see that be something that they take around the country and do, even with whatever players. It doesn't have to be Ricky and Paige every time. It could be just any other team players on Latitude or DD. It would just be so cool to see that happen more often. Jonathan Hernandez says, thanks, DGN. Always love hanging out in the morning. Thank you, Jonathan. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know if that means you're leaving or you're just saying thanks, but I appreciate your support. So, since tomorrow's Fresh Plastic Friday, I don't have a review posted right now, and based on the fact that I basically can't get out and test plastic with the air quality, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I really want to keep the ball rolling, and I want to be able to post something tomorrow. And I think what I'm going to do is review one disc that's in my bag that I haven't quite reviewed yet. Oh, excuse me. So stay tuned for that. We'll see what happens. I'm going to try to make it work. And then hopefully the air will clear up enough that next week I can get out and test 2 or 3 different things, film some other videos, and be able to keep the ball rolling. Because it's been really cool to be able to post one every Friday. I don't think I'll be able to keep it going forever, but I'd like to for at least throughout the rest of the summer and heading into the fall. And then after that, I'll probably won't do one every single week, but I will still be posting reviews on Fridays. Friday is my day, so even if I don't do it every Friday, if I go a couple of weeks, the next review, when it's ready, will be posted on a Friday morning. So just keep that in mind. Robert McCall said they're looking for venues. Yeah, I believe I contacted him on Facebook and said something along the lines of, hey, if you guys come out to Milo for Beaver State next year, I could probably hook you up with a place to stay. And also, it'd be really cool to see that kind of event out here in Portland. I think that would be tremendous. Maybe at like Horning's Hideout or Timber Park, or one of the kind of easier to get an event done places out here. Milo on the AMTs would be pretty tremendous as well. We'll see, I guess. Jonathan Hernandez says, what's your thoughts on the new DD bag? Did you watch Bobby talk about it yesterday? Very funny that you happened to bring that up. I have been in touch with Bobby in the last day or so, and I will be posting a full review on the Dynamic Disc Trooper bag coming out very soon. Hope I'm not speaking out of turn here. Bobby did say that they're willing to send me one to test and review. So yeah, a little secret intel for people who pop in and watch these probably pretty boring live stream videos after the fact. There's only a couple folks in here now, but I think a few people pop in and check it out overall. Anyway, I think I will be checking one of those out very soon, and happy to take a look at it. It looks great. I mean, for the money, it looks tremendous. We'll see. I'm going to test it. I'm going to load it up with plastic. I'm going to carry it around a little bit. I'll show you all the features, and we'll go from there. And yeah, maybe even do a giveaway for it. I'll have to see. But I might end up holding on to it as a little easy to deal with side bag, because I think that could work out well for me. Looks great for the money, for sure. Let's see. Not a pro disc golf set, or somewhere between Salem and Portland, like Wheatland or Shampooey. Yeah, great courses. I haven't been to Shampooey in a while. Last time I was there, I was driving in like 9 hours of traffic to try to get back to Portland from the Eclipse. I drove past there. But yeah, Wheatland, I haven't played Wheatland. If you're still out there, let me know what that course is like. Jonathan Hernandez says, sweet, let me know. My birthday's this month. I need a new bag. Yeah, I will probably get it, load it up with plastic, carry it around a little bit, test all the zippers and all that stuff. I'm not going to be able to like go beat it up for a couple of months and then do the review. I want to get the information out there quickly. But I will be posting a full review on it probably relatively shortly after it comes. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll let you know. But I'm sure DD will have plenty of other info out there about it. And looks like it should be a great bag for the money. So I love Wheatland. Favorite course in the area. Is it wooded or what would it be similar to? Adair is number 2. Okay. Also haven't played that one. That whole like Salem area is not an area I generally go to for whatever reason. I'm usually more on the Dabney, Rooster Rock, and then Stubb Stewart, Buxton, Hornings, and then Milo and Timber. Usually my kind of stomping grounds. It's like me not going up to Portland. Yeah, I hear you. My buddy Zach, who you have actually seen here on the channel a couple times, he did field demos for me on a few videos years ago. At this point, he lives down there in the Salem area. I'm sure he's played all those. But I have not actually gone down there to visit him and play any of those. He usually comes up here and plays with me, so we'll see. It's not wooded in the sense of Milo because it's an old hazelnut farm, so less tall trees. Okay, and that's Wheatland. Interesting. I'll have to go check that out. Maybe I'll try to get in touch with Zach once all this smoke clears. And I'll go down there for the day, meet up with him, and play Wheatland. Maybe I'll try to get in touch with you as well. Always happy to try to meet up with folks and get around. And you're just not allowed to tell everybody that I suck at disc golf because I got a little... I got this thing going on, like I know what I'm doing and I know how to throw and stuff, and I'd really appreciate if you didn't mess that up. Don't tell anybody that I'm really terrible at disc golf. No, I'm not. I'm not terrible. I'm not very good, but I never pretend to be. So, what am I gonna say to you folks? It's just something that popped into my head. Oh yeah. Also, if anybody happens to see this, it appears that more than a few people have thought that it was me throwing the Punisher at the end of the Punisher Discraft Punisher review. That is my good friend Andy, who has been helping me test and review discs since I met him. He's a former pretty decent level player from Michigan area, and he now lives out here in Oregon, and he's a solid dude, good player, a lot of fun to play with, has a pretty strong backhand, good decent forehand as well. Definitely need a spotter. Okay, interesting. Yeah, hence the name, not a pro disc golf. I get it. Riley Spencer, I'm holding on to a starter bag till it breaks on me. Never need more than 10 discs in 1 or 2 rounds. Also, how are you, disc golf nerd? Love the sport and have been practicing every day for months. About 6 to be exact, seeing great progression. Awesome, sounds good. Are you talking about the Innova starter bag, or I have one of those actually. Really inexpensive bag that gets the job done. This backpack from DD looks like it would be a great step up from there, actually, because I think it holds about 15, maybe 18 discs or so. So it's not like a huge bag, which I think is good. I'm not carrying a ton of stuff myself either. But yeah, it looks like it would be a good kind of step up from that once your starter actually does fall apart, if it ever does. I mean, if you take care of it, it might last you a good long time. Oh, excuse me, voice not cooperating. Yeah, I'm using that one. I love a backpack with good support straps, just can't afford. Well, stay tuned. Like I said, this disc golf backpack from Dynamic Discs, called a Trooper bag, is $39.99. So if you're going to afford any backpack bag, this is the one that you should probably figure out how to get your hands on it. I understand that even $40 for some people is not an option to just go spend. I'm one of those folks. You know, anything above like $20, I got to think long and hard on whether or not I need or can afford this item. So I'm with you there, but this could be a really good option for you to upgrade to eventually. Maybe Santa Claus could bring it, that sort of thing. We'll see what happens. I think Santa Claus is going to bring me a basket this year. We'll have to see. But as far as me, I'm okay. I started out this live stream talking about the really devastating wildfires taking place here in the outskirts of Oregon, Portland, Oregon. all over Oregon, all over Washington, Idaho, Montana. There's a lot of fires going on right now from a tremendously hot, dry summer that we had, and it's been really scary. It's been a rough couple of days. Some of our disc golf courses here may be destroyed, not confirmed one way or the other. Some of the ones out in that area may be burned and messed up severely. Some might be saved. I know that the fire crews are starting to do a little better with it as the temperatures have cooled down and the winds have died down a little bit. They've kind of started to get at least somewhat under control. And it seems like there's some decent news coming out of the gorge out there. So we'll see what happens. This does appear to be the least smoky day here in Oregon for the last week or so. It's been very, very smoky, very difficult to breathe. No going outside and let me go throw and huff and puff and breathe in this air. Well, you know, it's not okay. People have been walking around with particulate dust masks on and stuff because there's been snowing ash. It's been a rough few days. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. It seems like they've turned a corner and that they're starting to do okay. And hopefully they can get this thing under control very soon, and we don't lose any lives or any buildings or houses. As far as I know, only about 5 structures have been damaged or taken out by the fire. They were able to save Multnomah Falls Lodge. Tremendous work being done by true heroes out there, putting their lives on the line to fight these wildfires, and I have just a tremendous amount of respect for all the firefighters involved in being out there and trying to protect us. It's just amazing to me. Let's see, 40 is doable. That's a small weekly goal to save for a side for my budget. Yeah, $40 is the kind of thing where you could put a few dollars aside a week or so. You know, put a couple of bucks aside per paycheck or something, and put that together and probably figure it out before too long. Wouldn't be the biggest deal. $40 is a pretty reasonable price for what looks like to be a solid backpack bag. Let's see here. That's unfortunate to hear. I was uninformed on the subject, sadly. Glad to hear they're on the better part of controlling the fire. Yeah, I believe it's still only like 5, maybe 7% contained, so they got a lot of work to do. And we're by no means out of the danger zone at this point, but it does seem like it's at least not continuing to spread like crazy, because it was really going fast, and it was really spreading to a lot of areas really quickly, and very, very scary. A lot of people were evacuated from their homes, and it's just a very disturbing situation. The most disturbing part of the situation is that it was caused by a 15-year-old moron with firecrackers or something. They were throwing fireworks onto a bone-dry, parched hill in the middle of a beloved forest area after we've had one of the driest, hottest summers in years. It's beyond belief the stupidity level that it takes to do that, and just how reckless and irresponsible you can be to end up severely damaging tens of thousands of acres with one stupid decision that you make. It's just really heartbreaking to know that people are being evacuated from their homes. We're dealing with all this danger and issue because a bunch of kids were rude and ridiculous and made a really stupid decision. It's really disheartening. It'll be interesting to see where it compares to the Prodigy BP3 and BP2. I've been happy with my BP2. Yeah, we'll see. I wonder if Prodigy would hook me up with one too, because I would like to get, as part of what I told Bobby, is I'd like to represent some more bags on my channel. You know, I have 160 different discs and only a couple of different bags on the channel, so I'd like to get a couple more. And I thought this was kind of a good option, or kind of a good opportunity for me to add to that tally. Get a couple more represented to check out here on the channel and let people know about. So we'll see. Yeah. That would be cool to see them together. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, though. You know, like if Prodigy's going to send me one, if DD's going to send me one, would they want me to do like a side-by-side comparison showing each of their competitors right next to them? That's a little, yeah, I'm not sure if I would want to do that. That's maybe a little bit disrespectful to the manufacturers if they were to send me one to test and review. You know, that might be a better thing that I could do if I was funding the reviews on my own. I could do more of that sort of thing. It's not like they could tell me I can't do it, but I don't want anybody to be upset. And I'm like, oh yeah, here's this bag. They sent it to me, and here's its principal competitor right here next to it. You know, we'll see though. I think either way, I will definitely say that I think it's a really great idea. Hi Kylie, good morning. I'm talking to YouTube. I think it's a really great idea for them to have really decent quality, good sized, entry-level backpack bags. I think it's something that's very attainable, and I think it makes all the sense in the world. All right, big thank you to everybody who popped in to say hello to me this morning. Give you guys one last look. Yeah, you can see it's not too smoky. There's a little haze going over there. Oh, look down the street here in Portland. Much love to everybody for all your continued support of me and my YouTube channel. I appreciate you guys very much. Hopefully the next time I go live, I will actually put out a post on social media and let everybody know when I'm going live, so I can try to draw more of a crowd. Just because I kind of spring these on people. A couple people have actually mentioned that, like, hey, give me a heads up so I can try to make it and hang out, but hasn't worked out so far. I've just been real impromptu. Hey, let's pop in and say hello. So yeah, so I apologize for that. I'm gonna try to keep you guys posted next time and give you a little bit of a heads up so maybe we can get a bigger crowd going, get more of a discussion happening. But either way, thanks to everybody who popped in, say hello. Thanks to everybody who will watch this in the future. Much love to everybody. I'll check you soon. Okay, bye.